one of the gifts that, I mean, my life has been kind of difficult because the forced separation from family and feeling that I've grown up by myself. I never had a family since I was a young adult. So I had to care for myself, and I've seen a lot of battles that I've had to deal with in US. And you know, I do feel though at the same time that the struggles that I went through has made me who I am. And I think that in the Western culture, I worry sometimes that, you know, the life that we're encouraged to have, it's a lot about individual ideas and interest and really our own self-interest, that it in some ways is worrisome, because I think growing up in troubled countries such as in the Middle East, you tend to think beyond yourself. You think about a more community. You think about the bigger questions that is not just about you. And unfortunately, and I'm coming from America, where it is a very capitalistic and individualistic society, that we are told basically just look after ourselves. And really, you know, if you have a problem, we go to a therapist, you know. I think it's so important for young people to think about the world, the bigger picture. And the more generous you are, the more kinder you are, the more compassionate you are to other people's issues, the more you love yourself and the more caring you are for your own family. I find it extremely dangerous when you are within a very limited boundary, that it really only leads to a very small and egotistic life that, and in many ways, I think very many people are happy just with that, to be well and the well-being of their own immediate family. But I think life could be more meaningful if we find the compassion to open our minds and our eyes to other people's issues and see if we can expand our love and care for people beyond our immediate family. I think that's the way I see it. And as an artist, I think I'm lucky because it expands my world into, you know, an area that I don't just think about myself, and I'm very happy about that.
So if struggles made you who you are, it needs struggles for personal development.
Yes, we need to open ourselves to the experience of struggle. I think we need to travel, we need to see the world, we need to be conscious of what goes on beyond the four walls of our homes. And we need to gain knowledge for sure, but we need to just get out of our immediate environment to be able to know that there's a whole world outside, and there's a good and bad, and we need to know about them, because otherwise our perspective is too small. And I think, of course, being an artist, that's another thing. I feel like you need to definitely struggle. Otherwise, you make work that other people don't really need to look at it, because it's just, it doesn't really have a place beyond a very small narcissistic conversation, you know. I don't think political is the right word. I think we need to be socially conscious. We don't need to be activists, and our work and our profession does not have to be something that immediately, directly involves politics. But I think we must be socially conscious, because the moment that we live, the environment, the poverty, the refugee crisis, the political crisis, the violence, the terrorism, the extreme fanaticism, the extreme right-wing government, there are immediately threatening issues that we just cannot have a blind eye to it. And I think as young people, we need the young people, because they are the future generation. And if they're not at the early stage becoming conscious of what is going on in the world, we're at great risk, because we're just too old to deal with that, you know. So I think this is what I really think for the young people, to simply be more socially conscious. I have to say that I'm also worried about the arts, because I think for the past 2 decades, for example, contemporary art has been more or less reduced to the market, you know, the commodity making, and money has dominated everything, and it's been really endangering the very value of the artistic practice, and art as a strong form of communication, and artists as a great, sort of communicators that really spoke about the people and to the people. And right now, one of the reasons I've navigated towards cinema is because I've become very disillusioned by just working within art galleries and museums, although I'm still belonging to that. And I really truly feel that we are at risk as artists, and we need to be the one that are more forward-thinking and leading the art world, as opposed to following the dealers and the museum directors and curators, which is what's happening. They are deciding what art should be, and we're just following to catch up with them, where usually it was the artists that was the leaders, and they were catching up with us. And I find that incredibly despairing and kind of dangerous. So I think that in me, I feel like art's still one of the most transformative, more powerful tools of communication, and we as artists play a great role. But we unfortunately are at risk of losing that voice and being diminished to entertainers and people who are making great decorations for people's walls. I'm exaggerating a bit, but I want to do that in order to say that I feel very strongly about it.